How you doing, guys? It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy and Ham Radio Cat. Ham Radio Cat's a little upset. We had a bad storm last night. She don't like storms, and we've got 2 new cats in the house that she really don't like. So she's been a little out of sorts this week. Yes, let me bring y'all up to date on my internet saga. I've been on a local broadband company for years, and they got the bill up to where it was within $20 of what Starlink costs. So I decided to try Starlink, and bought it the 1st of January, and liked it, especially for doing YouTube uploading videos. It's where it was taking me an hour and a half, 2 hours to upload a video on Saturday night. I can upload one in 5 to 10 minutes with that. It was great. Had it 45 days, and it quit. Well, being an old guy and not used to app-based customer service, I got a little agitated with them. But all in all, they sent me a complete new system free of charge, and I got it back, and we're back up and running. So we're going to give them another shot at it anyway. I'm not used to not being able to call somebody and talk to them on the phone. But it is what it is. We're back up and running. I'm not ready to start trashing Starlink yet. I do, and before anybody thinks I'm being difficult, I do realize something can break. I really do. That part didn't bother me, something actually quit. I just got aggravated at having to deal with everything on the app and not being able to talk to somebody. All right, enough of that. Guys, we're at 1,439 subscribers. We're getting close at 1,500. We're going to give that little handheld away at 1,500 subscribers. Guys, I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. I've gotten into a new Facebook page, Ham Radio for Beginners. Got a lot of interest to generate there. So this video is kind of going to be more geared to new guys getting in the hobby and talking about antennas and things like that. One of the posts I saw was a guy posted, what does it take to get into ham radio? I have $7 grand I want to spend on my station. And my first thought was, my gosh, I've been a ham since 1991, and I haven't spent half of that on a ham station total. And you can see all these cards on the walls. I've made a lot of contacts over here, had a lot of fun with it. Nothing wrong with spending that kind of money if you want to. I'm not telling anybody not to spend the money, but there's a lot of guys that get caught up with the cost of things, that get worried about it. One thing I want to really try to get over to you new guys is learning propagation and antennas. The best way to learn antennas is to build an antenna. Our 10-meter group, everybody in it has got at least one homemade antenna up. I've got my 3-element 2-meter VHF Yagi, which is going to be the subject of this video up. Tim, Jeff, and Cody all have the same 3-element antenna up, and they also are running a 10-meter rotatable dipole they built out of aluminum scrap. Adam and Kent are running 160-meter homebrew loops up. So building your own antennas is a great way to save money, great way to have fun and learn things about ham radio and how antennas propagate and things like that. I can't emphasize enough, you don't have to buy the new version that ARRL puts out. Look at used bookstores, go to used books online, find you a ARRL handbook. That covers everything about ham radio. I've given several of them away here on the channel. I'm fixing to look for some more good copies of some. I'm going to give some more of those away. But they're wrote in a manner especially to help new guys out. I also have recommended the ARRL Antenna Handbook, but you really need to learn a little bit more about the hobby and antennas, because even there's some stuff in that one that's I have problems understanding. So, but the regular ARRL Handbook will help you better than anything in this hobby. It don't matter if it's a 1992 copy. That's what mine is. The only thing that'll be different is the radios. The operating principles, propagation, and antenna principles is the same. All right. Now, another good piece of inexpensive equipment for you new guys to get is a Nano VNA. And be sure you get the Nano VNA H4. That's a complete kit. It'll be in a box like that, got all the accessories. It's a good, inexpensive antenna analyzer, and you'll see some videos of mine here in just a few minutes that I've spliced in there. And I apologize, they're not that good, because I was trying to do this with one hand while I'm putting this video together. Subject to tonight's video is our 3-element FM Yagi, and last video I put a link to the build on it. I'll re-link it again in this one. I've also got a copy of the diagram. I'll be glad to email anybody that's interested in it. It's a really good antenna, and if you can find an old TV antenna, you can make it out of that, and you basically have a free antenna. Works great. I've had mine up over a year now, or longer. It works great. What brought this back up, me bringing this antenna back up, we all experiment. That's one thing our group does. We do a lot of antenna experimenting, and Tim is experimenting with trying to set up a GMRS station. Well, he was checking one antenna, and just for fun, he decided to check this 2-meter Yagi on GMRS and found out that it was, the SWR was, readings were weird, but the SWR was low enough. So I done a little checking on it. And then I done you'll see a Nano VNA video of it on the 2-meter band, which is how it should look. And then you'll see a Nano VNA video of it set up in the actual 440 70 centimeter band. I am not advocating you use this antenna on any band other than 2 meters. I'll say that again for everybody in the back. I am not saying you can use this antenna for anything other than 2 meters. But this is one of the things you'll learn in dealing with antennas. You'll notice on the 2-meter Nano VNA, which is the first clip that'll be coming after this, it starts out on a high at the base of the band, like a little over 2.0 or 1 or something like that, and gradually drops till it gets down to where I set it for, cut the antenna for, which I cut it for 146.52, and the SWR there is almost perfectly flat. And it starts gradually rising back out to the end of the band. This antenna basically is under 2-to-1 over 95% of the 2-meter band, the way I had it set with this Nano VNA. All right, works great. You look at some of my older videos. We use this antenna on Queen Wilhelmina State Park, which is 100 miles from here. Me and Jeff was on top of the mountain with a 5-watt handheld, with the antenna maybe 8 foot in the air, pointed back down at DeKalb, Texas, where Cody was, with a 5-watt handheld, holding his antenna in his hand, and we were able to full quiet simplex back and forth 100 miles with it. I hit repeaters that I never could hit before. I'm consistently in repeaters 50 miles away from me with this antenna, only on 2 meters. Now, I did hook it up on 440 and try it one time. And I was able to get into a repeater. I didn't get an SWR warning at all. And it worked. Don't use it for 440 though, because you'll look at the readout on this Nano VNA. It's up and down all the way across. And what that's telling me, I think, and some of the antenna experts can correct me, even though it's an SWR that's compatible to use with the antenna with a radio, the resistance is going to have to be high, or something's out of whack, because you don't have that steady high on one end drop and come back up. It's up, down, and even up in the FM portion of the 440, it's under 2-to-1 on the high and the lows, but that doesn't make it a good antenna there. So guys, I know it's easy to get caught up in just buying off-the-shelf antennas and things like that and getting into the hobby, and we want you in the hobby. We had a couple of techs check in with us last night on 10 meters, and glad to hear them on there. But try your hand at building some antennas. It's fun. What's really fun when you go out and make a wire dipole and talk to a foreign country on it. I've worked Japan on 25 watts with homemade wire dipole numerous times. So get your antennas, learn some theory on antennas and propagation, and make some antennas and have fun with the hobby. Because that's what we're trying to do, is get people into this, not give them any sad ham answers, and try to help them any way we can to get going in this hobby. Guys, feel free to comment anything on this video you want to. If you want a copy, we'll send you a pic of that diagram. Shoot me an email or comment your email in the comment, and I will send it to you. I'll have my email in the description, and it's also on my QRZ page. So I forgot what I was trying to say. Remember, Main Trading Company in Paris, Texas. Richard just bought a trailer load of boat anchor stuff and got a bunch of new stuff coming out. They got a big announcement coming out here pretty quick too. Waiting on that. Probably hear that about the 1st of May. Got some more MFJ review videos in the works, so I'll be trying to get one of them up also next week. We got Emory Ham Fest, I believe April 27th. There'll be a slide on that. And then Shreveport coming up. Also, Texas Four States Amateur Radio Club, I believe May 11th, is going to have a tailgate sale in New Boston. We ain't got the slides ready for it yet, but I'll have that on there as soon as I can. Guys, remember, we're at 1439. We hit 1,500. We're going to do a giveaway. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73. All right, guys. It's going to be kind of rough video in here, but I've got that homebrew 2 meter on my VNA zeroed in from 144 to 148, which is a span of the 2 meter band. All right, Nano VNA is calibrated. Is under 2 to 1, right there at 144.8 is where it's right at. Gets over at the very bottom of the band. You're only at 2.3, which is probably not going to hurt anything SWR. I cut this antenna 146.52. Right there, and I'm at 1.09 SWR. And if you come all the way out here to the end of the band, we're at 2.4 at 148. So this antenna has really good broadband SWR coverage across the band. How come this won't stop? Alright, I may get crucified for showing this, but this is kind of something we kind of discovered by accident. This is the same antenna, which is a 3-element 2 meter homebrew Yagi, hooked up to 440 and calibrated for 440. And you notice there's SWR highs and lows all the way across there. I did use this antenna to get into a 440 repeater and did not get a SWR warning on my radio and was full quiet into it. I am not advocating you use this antenna on 440. Might work in a pinch, but this is why we want y'all to learn antenna theory. What I think I'm seeing there is a resistance issue, because you know, on the previous video where it showed a high and it's going down to a low and then back up to a high, you got steady highs and lows all the way across that. So that's not going to make that a good antenna for use on 440, even though your SWR says you could use it there. All right.